The older you get, the more you realize how much of your precious free time is swallowed whole by a single vague task. You ask a friend what they did over the weekend, and they pause before admitting, "I just cleaned." It is a universal struggle. Take YouTube creator The Odd Ones Out, who recently documented his own intense psychological friction with adult chores. He highlights a bizarre paradox we all face. We frequently spend weeks dreading a specific chore, allowing it to hang over our heads, even though the physical act of doing it would only take about 10 minutes. The root of this delay is a cognitive trap called visual overwhelm. When you look at a room in a state of total disarray, your brain has to process dozens of scattered items at once. This influx of conflicting visual data overloads your ability to sequence tasks, and that overload triggers task paralysis. Because your brain cannot successfully identify step one, you simply never start. This creates a vicious feedback loop. The inaction causes your physical space to become even messier, which directly degrades your mental health, making your brain even less equipped to tackle the problem tomorrow. A perpetually messy room stems from a specific failure in cognitive processing. Bypassing these mental bottlenecks requires targeted behavioral interventions designed to override your brain's defense mechanisms. Standard therapeutic advice constantly tells us to disconnect from our screens, sit in silence, and be present in the moment. That might work for meditation, but it is terrible advice for dealing with chores. Cleaning is intensely monotonous. To get through it, you need to execute a distraction protocol. You need to intentionally overstimulate your brain with podcasts or videos to occupy your mind while your body chips away at the physical labor. Once you have your background noise going, you apply the trash-first rule. You ignore the laundry, the dishes, and the clutter, and you exclusively look for garbage. By eliminating all other options, you bypass decision fatigue entirely. This chart illustrates the high ROI of halving versus no-axing. Perfectionism causes paralysis. If the prospect of a 3-hour deep clean overwhelms you into doing 0% of the work, completing just 50% yields a massive net positive gain. Partial effort is objectively superior to total inaction. Then there is the gamification technique. You point at a stray item in your room and ask a simple question. Is that where that goes? If the answer is yes, you do nothing. If the answer is no, you put it where it belongs. This reframes an open-ended organizational puzzle into a binary yes or no question, drastically reducing the cognitive load required to clean. These hacks work because they systemize the labor. They strip away the complex decision-making and emotional dread, leaving you with simple, executable steps. But psychological hacks rely entirely on physical realities. To see what happens when those realities fail, we can look at a 24-year-old living in a bachelor pad in upstate New York. Despite living on his own, his apartment lacked the basic infrastructure of adult cleanliness. His bathroom didn't even have a trash can, just a loose plastic bag leaning directly against the drywall. This lack of tools creates compounding inefficiencies. Without proper dish towels or drying racks, he resorted to drying all of his dishes with disposable paper towels. You cannot clean effectively if you do not own a broom. Establishing a baseline inventory of adult supplies, from trash bags to water filters, is a mandatory prerequisite for maintaining a home. Upgrading to high-efficiency, specialized tools lowers the physical barrier to entry. Keeping a dedicated handheld pet hair vacuum nearby means you can clean up a localized mess in 5 seconds, rather than dragging a heavy upright vacuum out of a closet. Willpower alone cannot overcome a messy room. Long-term maintenance requires building an environment equipped to support your habits. A large part of our resistance to cleaning is learned behavior. For many of us, the dread stems directly from the rigid, punitive chore charts of our childhoods. Those systems were steeped in transactional anxiety. You earned $1 for completing a task, but you lost $1 for skipping one. It was entirely possible to finish a week of household labor actively in debt to your parents. This peaked with the dreaded company is coming routine. Rooms that guests would never see had to be spotless, culminating in irrational demands, like being forced to physically wipe down the bucket you just used to mop the floor. When you carry that childhood resentment into adulthood, you view cleaning as an oppressive obligation. You clean because you feel like you are in trouble. Changing your relationship with chores starts with a simple choice. Consider the advice to make your bed first thing in the morning. You aren't doing it for aesthetics. You are doing it as an explicit act of kindness directed at your future self. By securing that one immediate victory early in the day, you establish a productive psychological baseline. No matter how disastrous the rest of your day goes, you get to end it by climbing into a clean bed that you prepared for yourself. Maintaining your living space provides a direct physical boost to your daily mental health. Take the momentum from this video, get off your phone, and reclaim your environment right now.